A warm welcome to everybody. And I'm Sheila Ramakrishnan, chemical engineer in the biopharma industry. And I'm also an art of living teacher and music enthusiast. And today representing the Blessed Channel. And we are so blessed to have gifted musician Sahil Jagtiani here today with us. Sahil ji is needs no introduction for many of us, knowing him in the music spheres, guitarist, singer, songwriter, director, uh, sound engineer, composer, you name it, and also a very favorite art of living teacher, meditator, life coach. Welcome, Sahilji, and thank you so
Very good.
much
Thank
for
you for having me.
giving your time today. Let's get it started. This channel is called Blessed, and I think there's so many blessings we can all be thankful for in life. What does blessing mean to you?
It's a very loaded one.
Or grace, however you want to put it.
Okay. So, the situations that you face in your life are your karma. Okay? Whether it's your personal karma, whether it's societal karma, whatever it may be. Whatever comes in front of you is karma. How you handle it, how you how you perceive it, how you tackle it is grace and luck. And that's blessings. So to have a cool head in a bad situation is through tapasya, obviously, and Guru's grace. That will change your personality, change your outlook to life. Every moment there is something miraculous happening. You're breathing. You have no idea how you're breathing. Tomorrow it can stop, and that's it. That's the end of your in out cycle, right? It's out, and no more ins. So everything in life is a miracle. Everything in life is a blessing. You start to change your point of view when your mind is like a little bit, blown. You're like, oh wow, my intellect can't handle this situation. Then you say, oh, this is a blessing. Life is a blessing. You getting a human birth is a blessing. Realizing that is also a blessing. So, people say you get the power to bless when you're content. Becoming content is also a blessing. When you start to let go of Maya and you're like, it's okay, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm happy with everything I have in my life. I'm content. I'm doing, but I'm content. I have lots, but I'm content. If more comes, none come. But that attitude of contentment not only is a blessing, but it allows you to bless. It's the precursor to bless others as well. So I would say blessing comes from contentment and goes out from contentment. So it's like a beautiful cycle. Realizing that you have everything all the time, that the divine is providing everything you need. It's giving you outlets for your creativity, it's giving you outlets for having some purpose on this planet. It's giving you happiness at every left turn, right turn. Realizing that is also a blessing, and you just start to become grateful, and then you learn how to bless others. That's life. The whole purpose of life is to evolve into the wonderment of realizing you are blessed. You are blessed. There's no other guarantee in life. I can tell you, you are blessed. That's for sure. So yeah, hope that answers the question.
That's beautifully said, and I really like how you said it's a given. Just take it. Life is a blessing. Whatever comes, it might be a blessing in disguise, but finding that shift, um, to see it as a wow, as a contentment. And the more we put attention in that space, the more it grows, and it truly, everything is a blessing. I love how you said
Yes.
that. Now, with your connections and interactions with people from all walks of life over the years, um, you must have seen transformation, just how um, things can evolve for that person or situation. Is there any one story that you would like to share? Could be somebody else, could be you, of a story of blessing.
I think there's so many stories. Where do I start? Also, because every guru story is basically a blessing, right? You have something amazing happen, and we all look for wonderment. But in that looking for wonderment, that also is a little bit of a crutch on our spiritual path. So we have to move away from that and learn that seeing how you have changed as a human being. See, anyone can get a siddhi. Okay, anyone can do meditation and then get something. But if the mind isn't settled, if the mind isn't content, if the mind is always running behind rag dvesh, I don't like this, I want this, I don't want this, then you land yourself in a bit of a hole which is tough to get out of. Only a guruji, and only guruji can get you out of it, or a guru can get you out of it. But I think the biggest blessing I've had in my life is the ability to put the handbrake up sometimes. Like being in a really bad situation, being in a tough situation, having the skill set. Guruji keeps talking about skills. He talks about how you be put in situations where you won't have power, you won't have money, but you'll be expected to handle it. And that is skill. And that basically gives you the ultimate power, handling the mind. Because the mind always said, if I have to get things done, I need money. If I have to get things done, I need power. I need importance in society. Without those two things, if you get something done, it means you have the skill to do it. And that is something that I've seen people around me in ashram, people around me who I would, from the intellect, judge as 100% incapable. Like, there's no way in heaven this person can do this. But somehow, they organize a 50,000 gathering of Gurudev, in the city, and I'm thinking, I just took TTC for that person. How in God's name did they manage it? They didn't show any spark of that in TTC. You don't know what the capability of a human being is. Only the Guru can see that, because the Guru doesn't look at your one life. Also, he doesn't look at your outer shell. He looks at your core. He says, okay, I know this person has this inside them to do this. They're capable. So let me give them an opportunity to do that, And over the years in ashram, I've seen so many people being put in the wrong departments. Well, for me, it looked like a wrong department, like an IIT professional being put as the head of farming in us. All these things happen, Suddenly, once someone's the secretary, then they're the head of agriculture, then they're the head of agriculture, then they suddenly become, something else. It's like, your brain cannot fathom that. Only the Guru can see, that this person in this life needs to grow in this area. So I'm waving from, I'm going off track in terms of the blessing concept, but that to me is also, the grace of the Guru. Anything related to the grace of a Guru is a blessing. And we may take it in the right way or in the wrong way. We may say, oh, it's a drag. Why? But if the master says something to you, you have no idea how many lifetimes of karma he is removing. You have no idea the kind of blessings you are receiving. He doesn't work only to make you happy in this life. Okay, many a time he will not make you happy, in this lifetime. But the end result is unimaginable. The end result, when you leave this body, he has given you freedom from so many things you'll have to come back for. So, I got here because of blessings. I'm with my master only because of blessings. At the age of 22, who wants to give up everything in their life and come on a spiritual path? It's only because they've seen something of value, right? So this is only because they've felt something has touched them inside. And Guruji was talking about it I think somebody on one of these Vedanta channels. He was talking about, the importance of, you say you realize Vedanta, you realize, the oneness of everything, but to get there first you need bhakti. You know what I mean? And bhakti is not you sit down and you do japa and you say, I love you God, everything is great, and inside you're not feeling it, but you're just saying it for the sake of it. That's not bhakti, Bhakti is commitment. Like, if you stay on the path, if you stay through the rough times, through the times you're not given what you wanted, but you still stay, you still stick on, you still commit to something, you still go through it. That is bhakti. That is real bhakti. It's not just when someone makes you feel good, you do something for them. It's you're on this path, you're growing. Just trust it, move ahead. And that itself is a blessing, to be able to do that, because many people don't do that. Many people get swayed off the path because the feelings are hurt, or things didn't go according to how you wanted them to go according to. In life, where does anything go according to what you plan? Nothing. Even if you leave and you go outside in the world, you ask any businessman, how many of your plans work? They say 1 out of 100 worked as I thought. You know what I mean? It's how life is. It's how Maya is. Maya is like this. And the ability to transcend that mindset, to transcend that thought pattern of, I'll only do things that are comfortable for me, that is a blessing. And you get that from the Guru, you are blessed. Don't ever lose that. That is the ultimate. See, all these chamatkars anyone can do. Okay, a lot of people have siddhis. A lot of people will give you blessings and something will happen. I mean, today I can bless someone and something good happens for them. I've done it many times. But for me, that's still fleeting. That's still temporary. The mind shift, the shifting of the attitude, that is a blessing. Then when I see Guruji changing the mindset of criminals, of Naxalites, I mean, that's hard work. Convincing the Muslim community to give up the Ram Mandir the way they did, to accept that court order. That's like, can you imagine the kind of effort Gurudev must have put in? I mean, the amount of blessings he gave to all those people to make sure it happened well. It's like unfathomable. It just blows my mind thinking about it from that perspective. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So that trust, that faith in the divine, in the space of the enlightened, um, and knowing that somewhere the skills, the something will come, not limiting yourself because you just have faith and trust. Um, that's a blessing, definitely. So, gotta ask your background for some who may not know how it began or want to know more. Um,
I rarely talk about how it
oh,
began,
okay,
but
but music,
no, no,
how
I'll talk about how it began. Why not? Since we're on that topic.
I
So
music, I want to say, is a blessing. And for some of us, when we're young, I took piano lessons, and that music was an outlet for me. I was a bookworm in school, but I released the stress with music. I love to play. Was it like that for you when you first started learning music?
I can't say exactly, but music for me in school, I was in a few rock bands, multicultural bands. Just like basically play something, sounds nice, it's great. It wasn't an emotional release for me. It wasn't a right brain activity balancing the mind of the left brain. I mean, at that point in time. But after I got into spirituality, yes, definitely. It was I knew that this was something I had to basically pursue, to connect, with people, connect with myself also during that space. For me, um, growing up listening to trance music, rock music, and bhajans that would not even feature. There was no chance in heaven I would even listen to a bhajan or a devotional song. I'd like change the channel, change the radio station. It's a fact. We all go like that. But I mean, where do I start? Like, I used to be terrified of singing. I used to write songs, and I was terrified of public speaking and singing in public. It was the one thing I really didn't like. I was not confident enough to stand in front of a crowd and sing and play. So in London also, when we never got to perform as such, my band, but we recorded a couple of tracks which I wrote, and even to sing it to my lead singer that time, I was the backing singer, and then for one of the other songs I was the lead singer. But for that, I used to sing it to him from another room, and he would be. See, I would tell him, I'm like, if you're in front of me, I'm not going to be able to sing it. I'm going to go off key. I'm going to get petrified, and something's going to happen, and it's not going to come out. So you sit there. So literally, we would have the song transfer via another room. So that was basically how music was for me until I got into spirituality. I mean, I got into spirituality when I was about 21, and then I really looked. Means I looked everywhere. I did everything under the sun. I did Tonglen, I did Vipassana, I did Reiki, level 3, did everything in 1 year. And then at the end of the 1 year,
In 1 year. That's
everything in 1 year,
amazing.
all like read every single book you could imagine in, the written autobiography of a yogi, everything, all done, all read. And then at the end of that year, my mother was like, before you go to this retreat I was going for a retreat in Dehradun, not Dehradun, sorry, in Rishikesh. She's like, I want you to, no, sorry, not there, it was Dharamshala, correct, yes, Dharamshala. I'm so used to Rishikesh because I go there a lot. So Dharamshala, I want you to come for this one course, so there's this course that's happening. And in those days, I used to believe in Buddha a lot. I used to have this book called Dhammapada. Every time I'd have a doubt, I would open the book and the answer would be there for me. We would do that a lot with Gurudev's books also. But in those days, at the age of 21, I used to do that. And there was not much of an inclination towards spirituality as there is nowadays. In those days, it was completely different. Okay. This was in 97, okay. And then my mom's like, before you go, I want to take you for this course. My friend Ria has recommended we both do it. So I said, okay, let's go. So we went in, and the teacher was bowing down to this picture of this bearded man, and the sun was setting, and I will never forget that smell I got was so powerful. I don't know what it was, but I had it exactly 1 year ago when I started on the spiritual. That's actually what got me looking, because there was one night where I smelled something, and it just blew my head. It was like, what am I on this? What am I here for? What is the purpose of my life? Why am I doing this? I'm in London. I'm gonna get a degree, but is that what my life is for? Is that why I'm on this planet? These weird questions started popping up. I need to know more. So then I went on that tangent, and that 1 year later, that same smell came in, and I looked at my mother. I said, whatever is in here is this is the right place. Don't leave whatever is in here. This is gold. Whatever we're going to get is the ultimate. And I did the Sudarshan Kriya, and when I met Gurudev for the first time, he made us wait, obviously, like he always does with everybody. 1 hour gone, 2 hours gone, 3 hours. Then he made us people do Sudarshan Kriya outside, meditation. Then finally, after 3 hours, I got called in, and I had to leave very urgently.
Waiting for infinity.
Yeah. Then he comes out, and I have never ever till that date, except for one time where I was forced to touch someone's feet. Okay, in my upbringing, we were not that cultured, as we would say, to respect the elders as I do now. But at that point in time, I'd never touched one's feet, and I never felt the inclination to it. The moment I saw him, I just looked at him. I looked at his feet. I went and touched his feet, and that was it. And then he started dancing, and you know how he is when he enters a crowd. He danced and went up, and then me and my mother left. And I looked at my mother and I said, "Now, if I die, I'm okay. I have found the ultimate. There's nothing better than this." Can you imagine 21-year-old, never being associated so much with Gurudev, just saying that directly to his mother. I'm like, now whatever happens, I'm free. I told her like that. I said that now I'm okay. Now I'm in the right hands. And then I went back to London. It was a whole story. And then Guruji made me do my master's program. Then I came back, and then became a full-time teacher and traveled all of India. Being a spoiled brat in those days, being in London, living off my father's pocket money every week that would come in, enjoying life, coming back to India, living on 3,000 rupees a month, it was a culture shock, frankly speaking. But I visited every corner of this country. I saw every aspect of this country. And coming back to the singing part, like, I think before I became a teacher, I took my 12-string guitar once to meet Guruji, to sing for Guruji in satsang, but I got very nervous. I couldn't do it. And he's like, sing. No, I said, no, Guruji, next time I'm not able to plug in. Some excuse I gave him. Okay. And then the next time I thought, okay, when I come back from London, no, this time I'm going to sing for him. I'm going to find a way to sing for him. Okay. So I was in ashram for a month doing seva, and he came. Okay, and I had to leave the next day, but he came for that one night, and this is when the first wild TP happened in ashram, and I remember.
Youth leadership training
Yeah,
program,
yeah.
right?
First while YT in those days it's called YTP, not YLTP. Yeah. So then he basically was looking at me. I had my guitar. I was playing along with whoever was singing. Then Manikantanji was about to sing a song, and Guruji said, "Stop, give him the mic." I died. To 2,000 people, I have sung maximum in front of 10 people in my life. Like sing. Like sing like that. Okay, okay. Closed my eyes. I sang good, bad, didn't care. Just got rid of my fear there and then. After that day, I could sing in front of millions of people and not feel fear. But whatever fear I had came out in that night. It completely went. So whatever I am today in terms of a performer, in terms of a singer, is all because of him. It's not because of my, I mean, you have your talent is your foundation, but everything else is all grace and practice. Frankly, I'm telling you, there's nothing else to it. Anyone who learns an instrument, I always tell them, your talent only gives you the foundation stone. Everything else is your effort and grace. Okay, so like the grace is the cement to hold the bricks in place properly. But the putting the bricks there, that's up to you. How much of an effort you put, into that. But he's always there to hold your hand to make sure you're solid. That's he blew my mind that day. That day I was like, okay, that's it. And then that's when I thought, yeah, why go to Arthur Anderson, earn whatever, 1,500 pounds? Anyway, half your wealth is going to go back into your health. You're not going to enjoy yourself. People don't smile anywhere, on that MTR, on that tube, basically, that train station, Bond Street. They're all looking miserable. Do you want to become like this? Is that the goal of your life? And I thought, no, chuck it. I want to be a full timer. So came back, became a full timer, devoted my life to this. And I think that in itself is a blessing. When someone can come out of a particular life course and change it completely, it can only happen because of blessings. It cannot happen just because you choose it to. You can to some extent, but there's so many pressures, there are so many factors involved in it. Unless there's a grace pattern. One thing, my father was very angry because he had spent all this money on me going to London and getting this huge education, and he thought that he'll want to get into business, he'll want to get in. So he was very annoyed with me. He's like, I'm cutting you out. No more money for you. You're on your own now. So I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. This is my choice. I know I want to do. And Guruji had not made me full time as yet. Okay, I was somehow, as many teachers will understand, we were somehow getting by. Being a full timer, but not being a full timer. And I was doing some tuitions, something I was doing or the other just to make ends meet. But I really wanted to travel all of India. I was anyway traveling. But my father came to one of my satsangs. I didn't even know he had come. Okay, so he came at the back, and he had never heard me sing. So I sang one whole satsang. At the end of the satsang, he comes up to me and he says, "Okay, I'll take you out for dinner." I said, "No, I will take you out for dinner." So I had like some 1,000 rupees in my account. I spent 1,000 rupees on the dinner for him in those days. And then he looked at me and he said, "You're happy, no?" I said, "I'm very happy." He's like, "You're content in what you're doing, no?" I said, "Yeah, this is my life." Next day, Gurudev said, "Isko full time banao. Make him a full time."
Oh.
You know? So until and unless you have the blessings of your parents, the Guru will never contradict that. The Guru will always support, their decision to a certain level also. So it was like, I was like, this is real blessings, huh? This is all happening. This is not like, this man cannot change his mind so easily. I don't know how his mind suddenly changed. It was good, So even today, he always responds to any of the music I put out. He'll always be the first person. Oh, very nice, great, great. It's a proud father kind of a thing. But see, mindsets change. That in itself is the biggest blessing, frankly speaking. These big events. Oh, the rain stopped, or this magic happened, that thing levitated. Yeah, you change the mind of a father. There is nothing bigger than that. Trust me. That in itself is a blessing. Yeah.
As a parent, all a parent wants is for their kids to be happy, to be at their full potential. And in that moment when he heard you sing and with your voice like velvet, your magic touch in the instrument and how it just flowed, I can imagine how he saw immediately that transformation, that happiness, and the depth when you're doing something that you love and feel the connection and feel that um, divine presence in whatever you're doing. So he must be so happy,
Yeah.
and your happiness is coming through to all of us. When you do music, especially this type of music and the energy in satsang with so many people coming together in the same space, um, that positivity that just radiates. I think so many things are possible. I can imagine just the creative juices flow for you. You're in the moment. As a composer, have you found that these practices just bring out something when you're writing songs? Does it just come easily for you?
Um, yes and no. It's not. It's not. This is basically going into the fact that every song has already been written, every sound has already been, chanted or spoken. I can't say that anyone really writes music, to be very frank with you. It's a gift, okay? So, to some extent, yes, you do put in an effort and you do learn. Like, there are two approaches. One is where I talk about it in music also. Like, if I'm talking to a student music, I'll be like, there are two ways of approaching it. One is, let me show you. For example, now if I'm playing scale like this, okay? Now I know from the places I've placed my fingers, I can play this chord to cover those notes. Mohan Raga. The G major chord works on top of that perfectly. Now this is a theoretical approach. So first I will come together with a kind of a melody line or a chordal structure, and then I'll put some words to it. That is through effort, right? That's through effort. The other is you suddenly hear something from somewhere. Obviously Gandharva Shakti, something comes in your brain and puts the song there. Or you go somewhere and you're inspired by something, and then that sound turns into a song in your own brain. And then you don't know exactly what the scale is, because you don't have knowledge of the instrument, but you somehow play the notes across the fretboard like that. Okay, so you basically start here. Now if I'm starting on da 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 da. Now I'll go with the sound aspect of it rather than going with the theoretical aspect of it. I'll see, okay, which chord covers the kind of sound that I'm playing, which notes work with that sound that I heard in my brain. The more you go into silence, this is a big secret. The more you go into silence, you do silence courses. We think to be creative, you need to be active in the mind. In order to, this is very important, in order to express creativity, you need to be active in your mind with your knowledge, with your theory, everything, all that, your practice, all that stuff, effort, right? But to get that inspiration, to get that song first in the brain, you need to be quiet. You need silence, because somebody else is giving you that song. You understand this? So it's a very, very fine line here. Like, if you want to create something totally unique, totally original, in your sadhana, when you're doing your sadhana and it's total stillness, something will come, and that will be priceless. That song will be priceless. That Gurudev comes up with compositions when he's on a flight. There's no harmonium, there's no tanpura, nothing, right? Just closes his eyes, suddenly the song will come in his brain. That is basically a Gandharva giving you the song, giving you that melody. What you do with that melody then is based on your skill set. And also it goes like that. The more you're skilled, the more you are able to express those notes that come in your brain and in that silent space. So both are important. One is important to be creative, really creative, and be original. Okay, you need silence. And two, to express that creativity, you need to have the knowledge of the instrument as well, right? Otherwise, you got song in your brain, but you don't have the skill set to even play the chords properly, right? So it's like a catch 22. But I always tell people that the best composers are those who go on holiday for a while, who'll go off, who'll not look at the instrument, and something will pop in their minds, and they'll come back and then they'll play it, and then you've got a hit record, you've got a hit song. But yeah, I will say the universe is made on sound. Everything manifest is through sound, wave patterns, right? So sound is powerful. So sound has the power to transform as well. So that knowledge is again something a little bit more, higher up, and the more you're on this path, the more you go into music, not as a showing off that, oh, I know this, I know how to play this song, clap for me. There are two approaches to music. One is you approach music for others, and two, you approach music to blow your own mind and blow the mind of others. Blowing the mind of others doesn't mean the performance value, it means the understanding of sound. The understanding of sound is very powerful. You can heal people, you can transform things with sound. There's no end to what you can do with sound if you have the secrets of sound. So yeah.
I think you need both. The
Yeah.
sound and the silence, they come together. I know as a writer, when I've taken silence programs with the foundation, something gets unleashed and you're just in that flow. I know it's the same for music and the arts. You need both, or you need that time to yourself in nature, something like that to just enhance, suddenly kickstart in a different way. And the skills that you have as a foundation through your effort, they get just you know, released in just such a more profound and beautiful way that you can't imagine. It's meditation, it's silence, and just
I'll give you an example. Just there's this one song which I wrote now as a guitar player. Now I understand what I did, but in those days I had no idea. So it was. So that Guru Aftana, Guru Ji, kadam kadam lete hue teri yaad aati hai, जहाँ भी देखूं वहाँ भी बस तू ही गुरु जी आप ही तो अवतार हो. Now there was a break in this where at the end, in the middle, where I did this basically with the guitar. Now, I had never learned this is C add 9. Okay, I never learned this chord. Never learned that this was basically a C with an added fifth, or this is a G / B add 11. Okay, mouthful. But I played it. It somehow came as one of the first songs I wrote. Now, this came by luck. It didn't come through learning. It didn't come through skill. It just came by grace. It came by a blessing. So many of the songs which I first wrote, I mean, now some of those songs I go back to, I'm like, this chord is wrong. Let's change it when I'm playing it live. Maybe I'll do this other chord over there. Because at that time, who plans out, single notes written in that way. But see, that is also important. Because if you disregard knowledge and theory to some extent, then when you get thrown a curveball by a Gandharva, you get thrown something that is really powerful and unique, like you get a song that can really hit home, then you won't be able to do it justice. You see my point of view? So it's important that whatever skill set you have, like in any field, okay, if you're a writer, if you don't have a vocabulary to express yourself properly, okay, whatever ideas you have in your brain will come out in the manner which you can do best. You get my point here? But may not do justice to the input. The input may be 100, but you might be able to only deliver 30 or 40. So in life, whatever you do, when you're given this kind of a blessing, okay, in whatever field I always tell people, whatever you're given is a blessing. Everything you get in music, if you value it as a blessing, your ability to teach is a blessing, your ability to sing is a blessing, your ability to hear notes is a blessing. The more you are grateful for that, the greater your capability will become. All right, also through practice and grace, both equal. But it's like never think that it's owed to you. Never think that it's going to be guaranteed. You may get a lot more than what you thought. Okay, you never know, but you have to be humble. You have to be like, wow, that's amazing. Now when I look at some of the songs by Divya or other people, if I'm ever decoding a song or if I'm wanting to play it for Gurudev, then I always write out the swaras of that song in a time signature. So like, for example, Om Namah Shiva, I'll always put, okay, it's on the one, it's on the and, whatever. And then I'll find a nice chord for that structure. You know what I mean? So I will do it justice. So when I'm singing that song, the chord is supporting my vocal melody at that point in time. I have done it justice. So I'm giving it value. And when I'm in that seat, I know from my end I've given 100%. Then whatever happens on that seat, you cannot. Gurudev having fun with you, or the mic, the sound system guy being a little bit crazy on that day, the tabla player not cooperating, the backing singers being bass. All this stuff can happen, right? That's not in your hands. Your job is to go prepared. So even as a writer, even as any creative person, you have to prepare and go, and you have to have done that justice. You have to have done that presentation. It's you have to have approached it correctly. You shouldn't just say, through my skill set I'll wing it. No, give it importance, give it respect, and then watch how much respect you get from that song. Watch how much respect you get from a guitar. If you treat your guitar badly, you treat your instrument badly, you're not going to get that respect from the instrument. So when you're on that seat, that instrument remembers. It has an elephant memory. Okay, all things have memories. You get my point? Everything. So if you give it respect, you give it that love, then on that seat, you're able to connect with the divine, because there is no blockage from any of your instruments or from your approach. So even if it's a simple song, practice before you go to that satsang. I always tell everybody, practice before once, practice, sing it twice. So you are prepared. You have given your 100%. Then what happens is up to God, at that point in time.
I think, as you said, you have to give your 100% effort. You have to have the foundation. But then when you're in that space and you just let it flow, something might come in that moment that's a little different than how you practiced, and especially you just trust in that energy and that flow, that's meant how it's meant to be in that moment. You give that.
That is a different, that is accepting it, which is correct. I'm not saying no, but when you're on that seat, how do I put it to you? Like, see, not many people know what we go through on those seats. Okay, so in ashram, everyone thinks it's a blessing. You're on that satsang stage, and wow, he's singing, and it's popular. They have no idea what goes on in the background. Everyone thinks life is easy. Every field on planet Earth has its challenges. God will not lose an opportunity to take out your karma wherever you are. The more capable you are, the greater the challenge will become. Remember this. Anyone who thinks they have too many challenges, you are very capable. That's why you're getting these challenges, my dear. You are getting rid of all your karma. Be grateful. I'm free of it. You got my point here? So when you're sitting on that stage, you've prepared the song, you've gone 100%. What I meant was, in that space, when you're singing, it is not just closing your eyes, it's accepting what is coming in front of you. At that point in time, the tabla player is playing badly, doesn't matter, I am delivering my song for Gurudev. Gurudev walks in, someone is singing Besur, don't get distracted, focus on him. He has to sit down, you have to stop your song. All these things are there. So it is catering to what Gurudev needs at that particular point in time, not what you want to give to the crowd. You got my point over here? Or you want to engage the crowd so that the space is good for Gurudev to engage them. It's always coming back down to that level. You are there as a sevak. You're not there to get famous. You're not there to suddenly one day, have an easy life. That is also a seva. When you're on that stage, it's a seva. When you give it that importance, that qadar, we call it, right? That respect, then you can deliver wonderful things on that stage. And it's effortless. Because then the universe will support you. He is here for the right reason. You got my point? He's here, he's capable, he's here for the right reason, she's here for the right reason. Let's make sure it goes well. Of course, like I said, it'll always be tests. Okay, let's see how ready he is. Let's see how ready he is. Guruji will never leave you like that. If you think, oh, I'm done now. Every satsang is going to be a wonderful, great, grand experience. No, 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 no. Not with him. With him, he's always going to keep you on your toes. No matter how old you are, no matter how seasoned you are, he'll always find a way. Can you keep your cool? Can you relax in this situation? And that's the beauty of the guru. Yeah, the guru is there not just to leave you half baked. He's here to cook you fully. He'll make sure you're ready for what comes. He'll make sure that at the end of your life you're like, wow, I learned a lot, I lived a lot, I loved a lot, I got loved a lot. All those things the guru guarantees for sure. No matter what anyone else says, I know it. I can put my chappa on it, that he will never let you down. You cannot go lower when you've entered a path of the guru. It's not possible. Not possible on planet Earth. Sorry, yeah.
I I get that we get put into situations that we may not know our capability, and we just go with the flow and know that it's for some higher purpose, some higher guiding hand is definitely helping us. And I really like what you said about it's not for us at the end of the day, it's for sharing, for uplifting. Having that humility is what drives things, right? It's being a nobody that just everything somehow flows. And I want to talk about something that was so magnanimous when I first experienced that was a World Culture Festival. And it was my first one was in Berlin in 2011. And to see how it's not just one instrument, it's not just one performer, it is this totality. And I couldn't believe it when I saw that guitar ensemble. And then I got that chance to be wowed again in Washington, D.C. a couple years ago. What was it like for you when you're on that world stage with a number of fellow musicians all coming together like a symphony, just beautifully orchestrated? Tell me how a little bit of your experiences with that.
So the first ever World Cultural Festival was in Bangalore, right, in Jakure, on Jakure field, and I had the privilege of recording the main theme song for that, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and Guruji used to call me in and like, okay, change this lyric, let's put this lyric there, let's put that lyric there. So we did all that, and we got it recorded in 25 languages, and it came out. It was a happening. It was not anyone's doing. It just happened, on its own. One night the song was recorded. I got whoever I could find in Ashram, the main singer, that come sing, come to the room. So they came to my room, and it was not a soundproof room. It was all done in Vasuki, in a non-soundproof environment, using close miking. And it was good fun. It was a happening. It was not something. Most of the best songs you write now are happenings only. They're not getting done or overcooked. It's just like it comes in one night. Many songs are written. Just next day done, recorded, finished, ready for release. So anyway, I did that song, and I had prepared. I think it was about 40 people or 35 people to sing on the stage, okay, on the night before that. And we did a trial run in the satsang, okay. That night I get a call. Sahil ko bolo, tomorrow, he doesn't need to have so many people on. And all the stage passes have gone to all the performers, okay, for that my song. Then he can sing it alone. Like, because they'll be hanging around on stage, they have the stage passes, like they'll had a gala time, the people who got the stage passes over there. They were not, so it went from 40 people to one person. So I had to quickly, in that one moment, change the whole setup for that song, and I had quickly memorized all the four lines or whatever it was, and I did the backing track, and then I performed it, with the minus track, sang over it, played guitar over it, and I mean, it was an experience. It was like an ocean of people. But I'm telling you, after that day, singing for him, singing in front of him, I never did. Million people, 10 million people, doesn't make a difference. But singing in front of him, I'm scared. Like the moment he is there, something happens inside me. I'm like, oh, he's sitting. I have to make sure this is good. Make sure, because that he has given me this. It's not come from me. It's not come from some other person or some other music teacher. It's come from my guru. So when I sit on that stage, I'm grateful that I'm able to deliver that, but it's because of him. It's not because of anybody else. And so yeah, so that's still I still get the butterflies once in a while. And that's the connection with the guru. That's the beauty of it. Basically, you realize, without him where you would be, and with him where you are. You start to be grateful for that. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was okay. It was not something that like totally blew my mind. I've seen so many millions of people. Even the next one when we did in Delhi, it was good. It was nice. But in front of him, yeah, then I feel it. Then some, butterflies in the stomach, things happening around, all that happens. Only he has that ability to basically, give you 10 times the audience you would think of. I mean, I remember once when I was in college, I used to really like listening to Lenny Kravitz. Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to think, oh man, this guy is a cool singer, yeah, and this band is really good. I really loved his guitarist. And then I was in Italy with Gurudev. Okay, and at just before 12 o'clock, Lenny Kravitz walked into the kutir to take
Oh,
darshan. He flew all the way from America just to take darshan. Lenny Kravitz, it's Lenny Kravitz, and it struck me that time that you may think you have heroes who are special, or you may look up to certain musicians and all, but they are nothing in front of the guru. The guru has the power of all these people plus more, and uh, how do I say it? It's like he can blow your mind in 1 second. So if you think he is limited, he can show you. Really, you think I'm that only? I'll show you now. Kind of a thing. And it's a fun way. It's not like an ego thing with him. It's like he just he makes you realize how lucky you are to have him as a guru. You're on the right. Even though you may not feel, or you may not see the miraculous changes that you would want to see. Sometimes we have that thing now that I want to have this in my life. I want to be able to do this. But what you're given is what you need. What you're given is the right amount for you. If you have that faith and if you have that trust me, you've already achieved enough. You've already received a lot more than you could ever imagine. So yeah, World Cultural Festival, great, all fantastic. But singing in front of the guru, that's still, you know,
so
that's
that's
that's the ultimate.
that's the next challenge where you are just, even with the guru, that you are just completely at ease and just
Ease
whoever
is
it
not.
is. I know you're at ease anyway, but it's always special and fresh and
That's the word. The word is fresh. So you're on your toes because it's never like you can take it for granted. Oh, he likes the song. He might not like the song that day. You have to be on your toes. You have to see what does he want, what is he looking at. So one day there was another lady singing, and he sort of like cut and he was looking on the stage like this. He was doing this, and some other singer thought it was for him, and it was not. I knew he was looking at me, and then he did this. That one this and one this. I knew exactly which song he wanted. I knew exactly what pace I needed to have the song at. Fatak comes like that. So that's now my tuning, because sometimes he wants to leave with a flurry, with a flourish. So you should give him that send off. He wants to enter in a grand way. You should give him that. Because this is like the highest guru on planet Earth. It's come. What else you need? You have to give him that kind of respect, that kind of grandeur for his entry, because that's him. He deserves that. There's nobody else on this planet I know that that can be in that kind of grandeur and yet be so simple, so humble, so down to earth, dealing with everybody, and yet be happy and joyful. He's not morose. He's not putting on a show, putting on a front. Oh, I have to be normal. He does what he likes. He does whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do, and you just have a blast and a gala time with him. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from. It's like I can't put it in words, but yeah, you can feel it.
We feel it, right? We
Yeah,
feel the grace, we feel the blessing, the energy. It
exactly.
uplifts us to heights we would never have imagined for ourselves. And on that high note, we would love to, if you would grace us with a bit of music, whatever you felt like playing today. Um,
I have not thought about this, to be very frank with you, because once I start talking about Guruji, my brain goes blank. But let me see something I can. So this is the first. Let me see what should I write for? What should I sing for? This that Guru Avatar was a song I wrote in one day in Sumeru Mantapa. I remember that was also very pretty. So many songs I've written in one day. I'll try and remember one song which I had. This is another song which I recorded in one day. I wrote it and recorded it in one day. Okay. Hold on, so I can get this up. Om Namo Narayanaaya, Namo Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Namo Namaha, Krishna Narayanaya, Namo Namo Narayanaya, Krishna Narayanaya, Namo Namaha, Guru Namo Narayanaya, Namo Namaha. So, a lot of people ask why do you sing such simple songs? Why don't you make it a little more complicated? Put like 101 names. No, I'm serious. Put a different raga. See, the scales also have an impact. So like even if you play something like a C major scale, the C major scale itself, Bilawal, is an uplifting scale. It creates celebration wherever you are. Once you are properly submerged in that scale, you understand the value of that scale. Most children's songs are in that scale, and most celebrative songs are also in that scale. If you notice some of the songs that we sing a lot in Govinda Bolo Hari Da Ra 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 Da Ra 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 Ra. So the scale has an impact. You get my point? That the scale itself is celebrative. So every scale has its beauty and its charm. And the more you get into music theory, the more you get into understanding this, more these doorways open up. Oh, this will work well for this god. And now, why a simple song? Why not complicate it a lot more? Like put 101 names of like a Vishnu Sahasranama with this kind of a song. Why not do something like that? Well, what is your end goal? If the end goal is to get yourself as becoming a famous singer, fine, please go ahead, do it. Complicate it as much as you want to. You'll give joy to 5 people, 10 people who are going to listen to on the radio. But if you want to get all 100 to experience that joy of that divinity, they have to sing the name. You get my point? So if they sing the name, and the bhajan is, Guruji keeps saying, sing simple bhajans. Sing simple bhajans, let everyone sing. Satsang is everyone being involved. It's not just one singer. The singer is the spark. He is the matchstick. And then the song is the flame. It goes on, without the match, lighter, like a candle after that, right? So the song, the singer starts the song, and the song creates the oneness of sound. Like when everyone chants the same name of divinity, they all experience that together, and that is like a yajna. That is like a meditation on a mass level. So when you realize that is what you're doing, rather than singing a filmy song just to be famous, or singing whatever, like a pop song to become more famous, you're doing this because you're transforming these people's minds. They all go through Maya. They all have pain in their lives. They come to satsang to be free. They come to art living to be free. Your job is not to get them as your followers, but to get them to be free. The moment you sing that and you respect that, see that this is a transformative event where I'm helping these people just feel that freedom for a few minutes. They're connecting with the divine. They're connecting with Guruji. You have done a big service. You have done one of the biggest things at that point in time. And then skill sets will come, then other things will come, new songs will come, because your intention is pure. If your intention is pure, things work out, So,
I love
yeah,
it.
so that's
I'm gonna ask, when that universal chant, Sanskrit chant, that honors the 5 elements, Om Namah Shivaya, that brings unity and harmony. Could I ask you to play any
yeah,
of
yeah.
them?
I'll tell you my first. This is my first ever bhajan I've ever written in my life, and I will play it for you, and then I'll tell you the story behind it. It's quite an interesting story. So this was the first song I recorded in a satsang in London on a Tascam tape, I think 8 or 2 track, okay? And there were 40 people, Mahasatsang. In those days, it was me and this other guy. We used to go every week on Thursday for satsang. There were only two people, just me and him. And sometimes Suba woman would also come in and play manjira, those bells. And every week we would sing and play. And then finally one day we had 40 people, Mahasatsang. So I recorded a song, okay, which was this basically, the Om Namah Shivaya, my first composition. This was also the first song I played in front of Gurudev, that day when I was very scared. So, this song I recorded, and she used, and I didn't like the recording. Went to Bombay, I made my mother hear it. It's okay, not that great. And I threw it in the dustbin. Okay, I didn't like it, and I'm like, no, no, I'm not joking. Listen, I threw it in the dustbin. Okay, and no, she had not heard it then. She had not heard it then. I just threw it in the dustbin. And then I left for London. And then she calls me, a few months later, and she's like, people are having fantastic experiences. I said, "Well, what? Your courses?" She's like, "Yeah, in the courses, I'm playing the bhajan at the end." I said, "Which bhajan?" She's like, "Om Namah Shivaya." I said, "What Om Namah Shivaya are you playing? Oh, fine." So I'm like, "You didn't record anything when I was in Bombay and doing satsang." "No, no, that cassette I found." I said, "Where you found that?" "I threw that away. It's in the trash. What are you doing?" So then my God, you're using that recording. So then it like, I better record something properly. That is where Avtaran started basically. Avtaran was only like so that she has a good recording of that song and doesn't use that Tascam 8-track cassette player, recording. And but people were like loving it and this and that, and I was like, okay, I better do a decent recording. And I recorded it, and I gave it to a lot of people for releasing. And finally, Times of India took it, but they didn't release it for 6 months. Then after 6 months, Gurudev met me in Bombay. He's like, "Kya ho raha hai? What's happening with your release?" So Guruji, it's stuck. They're not moving it. Next day, head of Times Music calls me up. "We're releasing your album in 2 weeks' time." I'm like, "Thank you, Guruji." I don't even know if he called them up, but their intention. If Gurudev has that intention, things work out really, really quick.
The
And then
time was meant for when it was best.
no, and also the funniest thing is, if you always go with what people think about your music, like, see, you should take critical feedback from your peers, from people who know how to help you, and who are positive for you. So they'll give you constructive feedback, but never get swayed away by someone who's jealous. The industry, the music industry, has 1,001 jealous people on planet Earth. Okay, and there are a lot of people who may not guide you well, at that point in time. So, or they might be in a bad mood and they might say something. So, never base your future, your mission. For me, that time, after I was a mission basically to get it out, and to record it. And I recorded it and I took it to one of my friends, and I made him hear it. He was a TTC buddy of mine. And he's like, "What is this Om Namah Shivaya? It's not very good. It's okay, it's okay. It's not that, nothing major. Why you want to release it?" He's telling me like that. I'm like, okay. So I took it with a pinch of salt. I said, okay, doesn't matter. I will listen to your opinion, but I don't agree with it. I thought it'll help people. I really was happy with the recording. I released the recording. Okay, all over India I travel to do the releases. I get to Kolkata where he stays. Okay, he comes for my concert. He doesn't even remember that he had told me all of this. Okay, I think comes to me, gives me the CD and says, "Will you please sign it?" And I looked at him and I'm like, "Are you serious?" I'm thinking in my brain, you're the same guy I gave the first recording to, and you said you didn't like it. Now you're asking me for a signed copy of this. So I signed it and I gave it him. But I was that time, that might open my eyes. That don't always be a football of what people say. If you have to do something good, just do it. If you have to do something constructive for the betterment of society, just do it. And if you feel it's going to add value in society, then never let anyone stop you from doing what you set out to do. That's really, really important on the creative side. Because creativity is very like emotional. Like if someone puts you off emotionally, then you say, "I want to do it," right? Kind of a thing. Lot of artists go through this. You have to be a little strong on this path sometimes, and that will give you a lot of sustained results. And that's what's given me sustained results in my albums. It's like not caring too much of what everyone says, listening to good feedback from people, of course, but if you have to do something good, just do it. The best time to do it is now, basically. That's it.
That's it. And that is a wonderful way to end this beautiful session. We're so honored to have had this so much time with you and to be so
My pleasure.
inspired. And we hope you'll come back again.
One day, one day. I've shared a lot. My quota is almost. Yeah, Guruji, you never know. He might fill up the tank again very soon. With him, everything is possible. It's always fresh, always something new to talk about with him. But my learning in all this time is that you're guided well. You will be the best you can be, and love who you are because he loves you the way you are. You don't have to change anything for yourself, and just have fun in what you do in life. Be useful to people, enjoy what you do, don't take life too seriously. It's all time pass, frankly speaking. Okay, it's just being on this planet and doing something is just for karma's sake. You're not going to achieve something fantastic. You already achieved the highest by coming to him. You got my point here. Your achievement is that you have a guru like him. If you have a guru like him, you've achieved the highest. Trust me. When you get enlightenment, when you oh, those things, forget about it. Just relax. Just go easy on the path. Remember, contentment is a surefire way to success. You're content, things will happen. Things work out really, really well. So I'm content on that note. I'm very happy to have been here, and I hope I was inspiring for somebody to start music. I hope I was useful, in on this channel. It's a lovely initiative you've taken up. So lovely talking to you, and yeah, hope to be back here again soon someday.
Thank
Very,
you
very.
so much.